Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Into the 99. I'm Lotus for another episode of Brewing It Live, where we brew a commander deck from scratch with the help of chat. And today, Han couldn't make it, so I have Dan.
Hello again.
Hello. Today we are brewing Mavinda Students Advocate, 2 and a white, for a legendary bird advisor 2/3. It's a flyer for 0. You may cast a target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that spell doesn't target a creature you control, it costs 8 generic more to cast this way. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead and activate only once each turn. Why this one?
Because Mavinda's awesome. First off, it's an owl and the artwork is cool. Second off, I like mono white. I think mono white is a cool color. I don't think there's...
I'm glad you're coming around to my way of thinking.
I've always thought mono white's good. I like building mono white decks, and I personally like owls. Owls and polar bears. You give me any legendary bear or owl, I'll probably build it. The blue one, the Flip Dean, I don't even think that's good. The Abraham one, I'm building it.
Fair.
I'm a simple man.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was just looking at this all week going,
Going, why Mavinda?
Why Mavinda? Like, yeah. Evening Ashen, even Jacuzzi Daniel. Or is that you?
That's me chatting with people.
This is a great start. So, come on then. What are you going to do with this one? What's your first cards that you're going to pop in?
So first off, I split everything into 2 kind of things. Number 1, what permanents do I want? And number 2, what instants and sorceries do I want to be able to recast and what's worth recasting?
Fair.
So I basically went from all of the things that generally are going to benefit from having a target. So I really looked first and foremost at the heroic mechanic.
Okay.
So do you know the heroic mechanic off the top of your head?
Heroic, if you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, something happens.
Yeah, so the first one let's put on the list is Phalanx Leader.
Phalanx, double white human soldier, 1/1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. Okay, I see where you're going with this now.
So, mono white, you want to swing at people for sure. And I think it just gives us a good opportunity to actually swing at them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So then something like this might be beneficial. Themos High Priest. It's a 2 and a white for a 2/3 cat cleric, heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield.
Yep, that's a great one.
Thought you might like that one.
There's another one. It's Leonin Iconoclast.
3 and a white, heroic, 3/2. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, destroy target enchantment and opponent controls.
Enchantment creature, so it's not as great, but that's okay. I still think that it's got solid ways to blow things up because I play with Brian, and Brian plays a lot of enchantment creatures.
Yeah, I mean, play to your strengths, don't you?
Yep.
So, before we go too far into permanents of creature types, I think there's a few permanents we need to help us get there. And there's a new one that they just made that is becoming my favourite white card. Archaeomancer's
Is that the
map.
monologue text?
No.
Oh, which one's that?
Archaeomancer's map. 2 and a white for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 basic playing cards. Reveal
What a
them,
great card, right?
put them into your hand and shuffle. And then whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you, put a land from your hand into the battlefield. That with land tax, which I'm going to put in because that's just nuts.
We need good ramp, yep.
Those 2 together are just insane. So grab a fistful of lands, put lands into play, we'll keep up with the person that's running ahead with it.
Yep.
You must know all the other mana ramps. You like white?
I honestly, there's, I think it's Tooth of Ramos, whatever the white one is. I really like that one because it's a little bit of faster ramp when you get it out. It's either Tooth of Ramos or Eye of Ramos. I think it's Tooth, though.
3 for an artifact, add white mana to your mana pool, sacrifice, add 1 white to your mana pool.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Yeah, I generally like getting those ones out. Obviously, we need a Soul Ring in a deck like this.
Would you like anything like a Pearl Amp Medallion?
Honestly, we can't go wrong with something like that.
Especially if you're casting those instants and sorceries from the graveyard, having it cost 1 generic less would be nice.
Yep. Speaking of ways to make things cost less, let's go into that.
Okay.
Okay, so first and foremost, Semblance Anvil.
Is the what?
We want Semblance Anvil.
Okay, Semblance Anvil. 3 mana, imprint. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile a non-land card from your hand. Spells that share a card type with that 2 less to cast. Sure, yeah. Would that also go down the Primal Amulet route as well?
Yep.
Primal Amulet, 4 mana, instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, put a charge counter on it. If there are 4 or more charge counters on it, transform it, and it transforms into Primal Wellspring. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. When you use that mana to cast instant sorcery, copy that spell. Awesome.
Also a good one. We want Cloud Key.
Oh, yes. It's only just been reprinted as well.
Did it get a reprint?
Yeah, Cloud Key got reprinted in Time Spiral Remastered.
I did not know that. I gotta pick a bunch of those up. I love Cloud Key, honestly, as a card.
Yeah, it's not a bad card. 3 mana, reduce spells of the chosen type by 1 generic, which could be artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the other ones that we want to go with things that have buyback a little bit too.
Okay.
Just so we can, on the exile, we want to buy it back instead.
Sure.
So Anoint is a good example.
Anoint, single white, buyback 3. Prevent up to 3 damage to any creature. Okay.
Change of Heart's another one we want to be able to buy back.
Change of Heart. These are spells that you're introducing me to. 1 white, instant, buyback 3. Target creature cannot attack this turn. Yeah, that one will be better, because a Mavinda would cost 8 more on that one.
That's okay, though. The ability to buy it back later on is going to be good.
Yeah. See, I was putting in flicker effects and such.
Okay.
But this one I mentioned on the podcast, and I really like this one. Debt of Loyalty. 1 white for an instant. Regenerate target creature. Gain control of that creature.
I like that.
So we can regenerate our creatures, or we can regenerate one that's dying on another side of the board and then gain control of it.
Ashen says Chromatic Escape.
I love this card. Chronomantic Escape. It's one of the suspend cycles. 4 white. Until your next turn, creatures can't attack you. Remove Chronomantic Escape from the game with 3 time counters on it. Suspend for 3, 2 and a white.
I wanted to see what else there was. Oh, we wanted Vanguard of Brimaz as well, I think.
Vanguard of Brimaz is double white for a 2/2 vigilance. Heroic. Put a put a 1/1 white cat soldier creature token with vigilance onto the battlefield. That's pretty sweet. Some gnarly cards just subscribed. Thanks very much, Benson.
Thank you. We've got a few other heroic things that, like Wingsteed Rider, a lot of them are going to put 1/1 counters on themselves.
Wingsteed Rider?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 white flying 2/2. The Human Knight. Put a +1 counter on it when it's targeted by a spell.
We've got Cetizen Battle Priest is another one. It's going to gain us 2 life on the heroic cast.
Settle. You're giving me names that are something really special.
Yeah, they're weird cards, like I said. Setesan.
1 and a white.
Or SET, yeah.
Yep, 1 and a white for a 1/3 heroic. Gain 2 life. Awesome.
Yep, nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
I would do the Laguna Band Trailblazer.
This is just can you trip me up, isn't it? 1 white for a 0/4 heroic. Put a +1 counter on it. Nice.
A solid early blocker as well.
Hero of the Pride and Hero of the Winds, says Ashen.
What are those ones?
Hero of the Pride is 1 and a white, 2/2. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a Hero of the Pride, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn.
Great card.
And the second one was Hero of the Wind. 3 and a white for a 1/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a spell that targets heroes of the winds, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn.
I like that. Both of those are really good.
Yeah.
Let's finish up those heroic ones. There's not too many left of them.
Okay.
We've got Hero of Erois.
Hero of Iroas, 1 and a white. Aura spells cost 1 less, and heroic, put a +1 counter on it. 2/2. Yep.
I think there's also Favored Hoplite, which is a really good first turn drop.
1 mana, 1/2, heroic, put a +1 counter, and prevent all damage that be dealt to it this turn.
Yeah, really, really solid blocker.
That's a
And
really
it's going to
good
work. It's going to work wonders with a card that we're doing later on. Let's actually get right into that card. Martyrdom.
Oh, there it was. I saw it. Martyrdom. 1 white, instant. To end of turn, you may redirect to target creature you control any amount of damage. Yeah, okay. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's you can do it from any source.
Nice.
So if someone attacks you to kill you with lethal damage, I can go and do that.
Okay.
So you can definitely make some political gains with it. Let's I think there was one more. I can't even remember what it was named.
Well, I have one that might fit this sort of theme as well.
Let's hit it.
Monastery Mentor.
Oh, that's a good one.
So it might not be due to being targeted, but it has prowess, and every time we cast a non-creature spell, we make a 1/1 with prowess.
Yep.
Does what we want it to do.
There's a few cantrips that I put aside.
Okay.
And I'm just I'll go through them. Most of them are gonna have similar things. So let's start with Defiant Strike.
It's the 1 mana, draw a card. Target creature gets +1/+0.
Yep.
And it's got really nice mystical archive art.
Oh, I didn't even know that there was a mystical archive of it.
Oh yeah, it's really pretty. Looks like he's fighting Marat Lage, but
that's cool. We have a Guided Strike.
Guided Strike. 1 and a white. Same thing. +1/+0. First strike though. Draw a card.
Yep. Acrobatic Maneuver is going to protect our commander.
2 and a white. Instant. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control and draw a card. Oh, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a few white target creature draws one. Niveus Wisps is another good one. I know that one from playing Feather.
Single white, back from Shadowmoor by the looks of it. Target creature becomes white until end of turn. Tap that creature, draw a card. Cool.
So it's really good for us to just cantrip and draw, but it's also really good to protect ourselves if we need to later.
Yeah.
There's Shelter, which is another good protection card.
1 and a white instant. Target creature control gains protection from the color of your choice to end a turn. Draw a card. Who says white doesn't draw cards?
Yeah, white draws for sure. Then there's 2 that do the same kind of thing. One is Bandage.
I thought you were going to say banding then.
Not banding. We're not confusing everyone.
Bandage. 1 white. Prevent the next 1 damage that be dealt to target creature or player this turn. Draw a card.
And then the other one, it does the exact same thing, but it's only for creature. And it's Carom, Carom.
1 and a white. Nice. I have something else that might fit this as well.
Okay.
Gallantry.
Gallantry, okay.
Gallantry is 1 and a white, instant. Target blocking creature gets +4/+4 to end a turn. Draw a card.
Ashen says Strong Arm Monk and Student of Ojutai. Also, that's a good one. Draw a card.
Draw a card.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Strong Arm
That
Monk.
wasn't on my list.
4 and a white for a 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1. That one's pretty sweet. And what was the other one? Strong Arm Monk and Student of Ujitai.
Yeah.
Student of Ujitai is 3 and a white for a 2/4. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, gain 2 life.
Yep.
Nice. Hello there, Maritime Gamer.
So when you started the podcast, or when you started the episode here, sorry, you said that you had a Blink theme in mind, and that's actually made me change a lot of what I was looking at. And now I'm thinking about a lot of white enter the battlefield effects.
Yeah, I had some interesting ideas.
Well, let's talk about a few white flicker cards first.
Okay.
So Semester's End is one of the newest ones. I think that one's super cool.
I love this
Exile
one.
any number of target creatures, yep.
3 and a white, instant. Exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of the next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, or an additional loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker.
Another one of the newest ones is that Leonin Lightscribe. I think that's the Magecraft is pretty good here.
Oh, Magecraft, Leonin Lightscribe. 1 and a white. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 to end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
There's another new one that came out that I quite like. If we're going for the flicker, it's Cosmic Intervention.
That, like I've said many times, that card already needs to be reprinted. It's one of the best cards they've printed for that archetype of flickering and re-entering.
Yeah, 3 and a white. If a permanent would leave the battlefield this turn... Sorry, if a permanent would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile it instead, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And you can foretell it as well.
Myth Realized is a good enchantment as well.
I'm not sure what that one is. I'll have to have a look.
It's a really early drop. That one's from Ashen there.
1 white enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a lore counter on Myth Realized. 2 and a white. Put a lore counter on Myth Realized. Single white. Until end of turn, Myth Realized becomes a monk avatar creature in addition to its other types, and gains this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lore counters on it. Okay, that's pretty sweet.
Yep. I'd probably go into some of the ETB destroys, so like a War Priest of Thune maybe.
Ooh.
Get some enchantment destruction.
1 and a white. When ETBs destroy target enchantment. Is this just because of Brian?
I do have the enchantment PTSD. A lot of the I think it's the dragons. It's either cons or dragons. They had a lot of like the prowessy kind of stuff. So Ajutai Exemplars is another good one.
2 white human monk. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose one. Tap target creature. It gains first strike and lifelink to end a turn. Exile it and then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. That's quite tricky.
Looking at for our breakup of permanents and stuff.
Okay, so we have 18 creatures, 7 artifacts, 2 enchantments, 14 instants, 1 sorcery.
So I think we want to go heavier on our creatures and enchantments. I think we want to probably end like 25 creatures, something like that, and 30-ish and 30 sorceries. So because we're doing so many instants, I think we're going to want an Isochron Scepter. A lot of these cantrips are so cheap.
Especially when they're mostly 1-drops.
Yep.
So Isochron Scepter is a 2-drop artifact. You can imprint a 2 or less instant from your hand from the game under it when it ETBs. And for 2 and tap, you may cast the spell that's under it without paying its mana cost. Going up in price, something scary, but it's a very good card.
It is. Another really good card, especially to put under that, is going to be a Graceful Reprieve. So it's going to do 2 things. It is going to pseudo-flicker creatures we want, but it's also going to protect whatever we want to keep.
Grace for Reprieve?
Yeah, Graceful Reprieve.
I can't even find that. Got Brace for Impact? Oh, Graceful.
No, Graceful, yeah.
Ah, right. 1 and a white, instant. When target creature dies this turn, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Bathe in Light is going to be another way for us to just end the game out.
1 and a white, Radiance. Choose a color. Target creature and each other creature that shares a color with it gains protection from the chosen color until end of turn. Try and get through those little blockers.
Yep.
If you want more creatures, I think a Thalia's Geist Caller might be very good.
Yep.
So Thalia's Geist Caller is 2 and a white human cleric with lifelink 3/1. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying and sacrifice it. Sacrifice the spirit, Thalia gains indestructible to it. So that triggers off of our commander quite well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another really, really nice one is going to be Spiritualize. So it's not actually lifelink, but it'll give us a double lifelink effect.
Spiritual is 2 and a white, and to end a turn, whenever target creature deals damage, you gain that much life and draw a card.
Yeah. Let's get Dawnbringer Charioteers in there as well.
2 white for a 2/4 human soldier flying lifelink. Heroic. Put a +1 counter on it. Yep. Seems really, really solid.
Honestly, it looks like we have a lot of 1/1 counter kind of things in here. It
I,
might be worthwhile running an Ozolith.
I think, yeah, the Ozolith here, just good value, especially if we're getting a lot of 1/1 counters, as you say. So, the way that I wanted to build this is a little bit different to what you were doing.
Yeah, you go ahead. I've been really going off with these. Like I said, I went pretty deep into this heroic combat tricks with it brought me back kind of to Feather, but less annoying.
So I was really sort of looking at this commander like, why? Why? Honestly, I was like, why? So I let my evil side out a little bit. And you've got quite a lot of the flickering stuff going on already, which helps with what I want to do. And we've got +1 counters and the Ozolith, which is something else I'm really wanting to do. So let's start off with Heliod Suncrowned.
Okay.
So 2 and a white for a god, indestructible 5/5. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on target creature or enchantment, and 1 and a white, another target creature gains lifelink.
Yep.
And Walking Ballista.
Oh, like a little combo in here?
It was one of the ones that I was putting in.
Okay.
So Walking Ballista is remove a counter and deal a damage. If it's got lifelink, it will put a counter back on it. And the cycle will continue.
If we're going 1/1 counters, let's get Mikaeus.
Oh, I need to try and find him. He's so hard.
M-I-K.
The Unhallowed, isn't it?
No, Luminarch. Lunarch, sorry.
There it is. X and a white for a 0/0 enters with X +1 counters. Tap, put a +1 counter on it. Tap, remove a +1 counter from him and put it on each other creature. That would work really well. Especially with my Triskelion.
Yep.
Does the same thing as the Walking Ballista, is just 6 mana, but it is a 1/1. So that works quite nicely with that little combo. There is another little combo that I had that was a little bit more...
Before you get into that combo, I think it was the last time, I don't know if it was on one of the podcast episodes or on here, but it was Felidar Retreat. You pointed out how good that card is.
Yes. That is on my list.
Yeah, because we got the token generation, we have the counter generation. I think that does everything we want it to do in this deck.
I mean, for 4 mana, it's just solid value for just playing a land. You can't hate that.
Yep.
But I think we should make more tokens and then put +1 counters on it. So I'm going to start with God Eternal Oketra.
Oh, that's a great creature.
So 3 white, double strike, 3/6. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 zombie with vigilance. Seems good enough. Then I'm going to run Oketra's Monument. 3 mana. White creature spells cost 1 less to pay. And whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 warrior with vigilance. And then, you worked out where I'm going with this yet?
I haven't.
I want to put a Phyrexian Altar in.
Okay.
3 mana, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color, and then I want to add in a white main lion.
Okay.
So what we do is we have a Ketra on the board, and we have a Ketra's Monument on the board.
That's a lot of creatures. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have a combo bounce.
Yeah. So you cast white main lion for a single white due to a Ketra's Monument making it reduce 1. Which will make us a 4/4 zombie from a Ketra and a 1/1 from the Monument. We then bounce the white main line back to our hand with its own ability, and then with the Phyrexian Altar, sacrifice the 1/1 to make the 1 white mana to repeat the process.
Do you actually net creatures this way or no?
You net a 4/4 zombie with vigilance.
Nice.
So, yes. I said I was going to be degenerate, and there's 2 combos that I wanted to shove in. Other ones are Eldrazi Displacer and Mere Battlesphere. Karmic Guide.
I'm looking at it. It looks like we're pretty good on creatures. What are we looking at for card numbers?
Instant 17, enchantments 3, artifacts 11, sorceries 1.
And what's our total right now?
We are at 94 already.
Oof. Number 1, I think we're going to be able to empty our hand pretty quick. I would put Jirapur Orrery in. I love Jirapur Orrery. It's so good as a card. People don't run it enough. It's literally the playmat that's on my desk right now. Just love that card.
4 mana artifact. Each player may play an additional land on each of their turns. That goes well with our Archaeomensa's map as well.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in their hand, draw 3 cards. Seems good. Another one that I quite like for mono white card draw is I can never remember the name, so bear with me just a moment. Endless Atlas.
Which one?
Endless Atlas. So Endless
Atlas
is
good, yep.
2 mana artifact, 2 and tap, draw a card. Activate this ability only if you have 3 or more lands with the same name. We're mono white, we're going to have a lot of planes, so that works out quite nicely. We're also having a lot of little creatures that are power 2 or less.
Oh, Mentor of the Meek?
Yes.
I knew where you were going as soon as you said that.
So 2 and a white for a 2/2. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, pay 1. If you do, draw a card. Just seems good value.
Yep.
Ashton says Mangara the Diplomat.
Mangara's pretty decent.
So Mangara the Diplomat, 3 and a white, human cleric 2/4 with lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. That's pretty decent.
Yep.
Okay, so we're at 98 cards, but we're at 36 lands, and I know you don't like running that many.
Too many lands. Well, and especially we're pretty low CMC, I think, so far.
Yeah, our average CMC is currently 2.6.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a lot. So what, we can cut 3 of them?
Let's go to 34. We're in mono white, so we definitely don't want to miss any of them.
Well, let's go to 33, and I'm going to add a War Room.
Okay.
Because I like the extra card draw.
Primal Amulet's also going to be a pseudo land for us.
That is true. It does flip into a land.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to run Smothering Tithe?
Nah, Smothering Tithe's boring.
Okay. What about the new one, Monologue Tax?
Nah, we're good ramp. We everything's 2 mana. We don't need more ramp. I think we need more instants and sorceries. So if there's any other good we want to abuse that ability of Mavinda. Otherwise, why use Mavinda, right?
Okay, that's absolutely
so we've got
fair.
Yeah, we've got lots of combat tricks, right? But like, what else is like good to be able to cast from like Grave? Like what? Any of the board wipes would be pretty solid, I think.
Okay, so what? Doomscar? That's a good new one.
Which one's Doomscar again?
Doomscar is the Foretold board wipe.
Okay.
Doomscar is 3 white, destroy all creatures, or you can foretell it for 1 white.
That's not bad.
Or would you like to go for something like Slash the Ranks, which destroys all non-commander creatures?
That could be good.
So we'll do that one then. Slash the Ranks. It's one I like using. Just trying to think of more instant sorceries that you might actually like. What about Oblation?
Tragic Arrogance.
Tragic Arrogance?
Oblation is really good. We can hit our own things as well to draw 2 cards. Basically, flicker a token away for a draw 2 is pretty solid.
Yep. And what was the other one that you said?
I was going to say Tragic Arrogance. I really like that card. It can get around a lot of stuff.
3 white sorcery. For each player you choose from among them the permanents that player controls, an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. Then each player sacrifices all other non-land permanents they control. Yep, that gets around Hexproof, Shroud, and everything like that.
Yep. Indestructible, all of it.
I like those sort of spells.
Another really good one would be Reflective Golem.
Oh, this is a new one.
We're really gonna benefit from this one. When I saw it, I immediately thought of like Feather, and by virtue this.
3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell that targets only Refractive Golem, you may pay 2 generic. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Ooh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so a good double down on all of our cards.
I quite like. I don't know how you feel about it in this deck. The Wandering Archaic.
I think that card should be in every deck. That's, I think, the best card printed of the year.
It's ridiculous. It's another one of the are you going to pay the 2? But it's 5 colorless for a 4/4, and on the back it is also colorless. Whenever an opponent casts a instant or sorcery spell, they may pay 2. If they don't, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. And on the back,
Yep.
it's a sorcery. Each player looks at the top 5 cards of their library, reveals a land and or instant or sorcery card from among them, put that into their hand, and the rest onto the bottom of their library, and gain 3 life. Such a good card.
The group hug is great, and also the copy is nuts.
I need to build a deck that's just all those cards of, are you going to pay the 1, the 2, the 3, the 1?
The parrot deck?
Yeah, just parrot.
What's Mavinda's power and toughness? It's a 2/3.
It's a 2/3.
So it's not unrealistic that we can get through pretty easily with commander damage. It has flying. Because we have so many creatures we want to individually buff, Rogue's Passage into the lands.
I like that one. 4 and tap. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Oh, what's that new one? Secret Tunnel? Top Secret Tunnel. Is that
Secret?
Is it Secret Passage?
I don't know which ones these are. What does it do?
It's the one from Strixhaven that is basically Rogue's Passage, but not as good.
I do not know it.
I can't actually find it. If that card exists, it might be good for this deck.
Another one, yeah, if it's real.
If it's real, shove it in.
We'd probably want to put a Guiding Voice on. Again, we want to get those 1/1 counters on. And that's another new one.
A Guiding Voice. Single white, put a +1 counter on target creature and learn. So we can only do the draw and
The second part, yeah.
discard and draw, but sometimes that might be good if we've got a fistful of lands. And we don't have to do anything, we can just not learn.
Mhm.
Access Tunnel. Thank you.
Access Tunnel.
So let's have a look. Access Tunnel. 3 and tap. Target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn.
I don't think that's going to function with us because we want to pump them so much, right?
Yeah, I don't like it's got that restriction, actually.
Yeah, Rogue's Passage seems like it's the king.
Yep.
What is the... There's a few lands that I wanted to put in. One of them, I can't even think of the name. It puts cards back into your deck right now. Mistveil Plains.
Yep. Ends the battlefield tapped. Pay a white. Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library.
Another one that I thought would be pretty good is to get things out. What is the name of it? It lets us basically flash in it. It's Scout's Warning.
Single white for an instant. The next creature card you play can be played as though it had flash. Draw a card. There are so many white spells that say draw a card. I cannot understand why people say that white can't draw cards.
Yeah. We're going to want a Myriad of Skyrune as well, just to get our creatures back into play.
Yep. Enters the battlefield tapped. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 7 or more planes, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty good land, to be honest. What's that one? I can't even pronounce that, Ashen. I'm really sorry. I'm going to search for it, but I can't pronounce it.
Aganjo?
Elganjo Castle. Tap to add
I think
void.
that's the Eldraine one.
No, it's from Kamigawa.
Oh. Of course it is if it's Ashen, yeah.
It's Ashen, it's Kamigawa. White and tap. Prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to target legendary creature this turn. I mean, it doesn't come in tapped. It's pretty good.
We want to be drawing a lot in this deck. So things that are going to make us the Monarch would be pretty good to get in there.
Okay, so you want the Court
of Grace is what I was thinking, exactly.
2 white enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you are the Monarch, create a 4/4 angel instead. Seems good.
Yep.
Did you just not want to risk it and just put Divine Visitation in and just make everything 4/4 angels with flying and vigilance?
To be honest, Divine Visitation is such a fun card. I do love that card. We've got decent token. I think we're going to want to play a deck like this, kind of almost like a Spellslinger deck. We have lots of things that make it indestructible. We've got our Martyrdom kind of things.
Yeah.
I'd run a really, really funny card in here. It's called Eye for an Eye. But if we're going to run stuff like that, we should have something to dump our mana into. I'll go into that in a minute here, but Eye for an Eye, yeah.
Okay, 2 white for an instant. Play only when a creature, spell, or effect assigns damage to you. Eye for an Eye deals an equal amount of damage to that source's controller. Yep, I like that. So
and then Harsh Justice.
2 and a white. Sorcery? Play Harsh Justice only after you're attacked before you declare interceptors. Okay, play in the attack step before blockers.
Yeah.
This turn.
So it is an instant.
Each attacking creature that damage you also deals that much damage to the attacking player. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Okay, we're 107, so we're going to have to start cutting for stuff soon. Palace Jailer is great with the flicker.
Yep, Palace Jailer is really good. The ability to get that bounce in and out and keep becoming the Monarch.
Yeah, that's just sweet. So, what about Mirari?
The ability to copy stuff could be pretty good. We want to be able to... Oh, I didn't even think as well. I have another one. But yes, Mirari's good.
Yep, pay 3 generic and copy a spell. May choose 2 new targets for the copy. And what was your one?
Basri Ket. Didn't even think about him. Need it.
Yes, the new Planeswalker. 1 white for a 3 loyalty Basri Planeswalker. +1. Put a +1 counter on up to 2 target creatures. It gains indestructible to end a turn. I can't read that. The writing's so small. -2.
Whenever one or... yeah. The -2, whenever one or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creatures that are tapped and attacking.
And then
the -6 is you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat in your turn, create a 1/1 soldier, then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. I forget how good he is.
Basri's great. Basri Solidarity could be another good one. But it's not target. Let's leave that one.
Yeah. I mean, 1 and a white sorcery, put a +1 counter on each creature control. If you're going that route, seems fantastic, but not for this deck.
Honestly, a Path to Exile in the deck could be pretty good, because we can respond quickly, get rid of one of our tokens for land ramp, and then, or get rid of one of their creatures, and then from the grave, get rid of a token.
Yeah. I mean, if we Path to Exile just to get the extra land, it's not a bad thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I quite like how this is going, actually, now.
I like spell slinging.
Now it makes sense how this deck is supposed to work.
Yeah, let's look at what our... we have a lot of artifacts. Let's try cut some of them down so we can get more instants.
Okay. Well, we're already 11 over 100, so... Archaeomensa's map is just decent. Cloud Key, Endless Atlas, pay 2, draw a card.
Well, let's cut it.
Okay, I'm going to move it to the maybe board, so...
Yep.
Okay, we now have a cut maybe board. Girapul Ori, good card.
Yeah, it's such a good card. The double, it makes you friends in the game because people want to play 2 lands, but it also lets you refill your hand. And we have so many low cost things that I think we're going to be hellbent pretty frequently, right? Like our graveyard is our pseudo hand.
Yeah. Isochron Scepter.
Yep.
Mirari, we can copy the stuff that we do.
Mirari's good.
Ketra's Monument.
Ketra's Monument's just good all around. It does everything we want.
Pearl Medallion.
Pearl Medallion's also pretty good, but I think we could cut it.
Yeah, our spells aren't too expensive.
Honestly, by the way, a Sun Titan would be solid. We have a lot of permanents that Sun Titan's going to hit.
Yeah, he was another combo that I was going to introduce, but I won't add any more. 2 is plenty.
In an Afara deck, that's funny, Ashen.
What's that?
Hellbent is pretty fun. Let's cut down to 33 lands, too. We're pretty... Yeah, like I said, we're pretty...
Yep. And we have got that one that turns into a land.
Yep. I didn't even
Phyrexian...
think of Sabine's Reclamation. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. That can get back any permanent. God damn it.
It's just solid for what we want in general.
Yeah, with flashback as well.
Yep.
Phyrexian Altar. That's another one of my combo enablers, though.
I don't know how... I think the White Man Lion combo is cool, but I think it's too not what we're doing with it, you know?
Okay, so we'll take out the altar. We'll take out the White Mane Lion. But did you want to keep the God Alterna Oketra in for the zombies?
Yes, that's just such... I was going to also say other Oketra, because we're going to be able to hold up so much mana a lot of the time, I feel, with our combat-y tricks, that I think that we should have something to dump the mana into somewhere.
Oketra the True. I'm starting just to want to put Elish Norn in here, but I think that's disgusting.
Elish Norn's rough.
There was a combo I saw, and it was basically turn all swamps. Turn all... you have a Tomb of Yawgmoth, and then you animate all...
Cormus spell.
Yeah, and then Elish Norn. It was rough. I was going to put it in and thought better of it.
There's an enchantment, by the way. In a deck like this, we might, because we have such evasion on our commander, one card that could be pretty good is Stratascythe.
A Stratascythe?
Yeah. It's an equipment you don't...
3 mana equipment, imprint. When it enters a battlefield, search your library for a land and exile it, shuffle your library. The equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land on the battlefield with the same name as the exiled card.
Battlefield, not yours.
Huh. Blackblade
So hitting planes
on steroids.
Yeah, so hitting a planes, we can pretty easily get Mavinda enormous.
Yeah, I quite like that. I've never seen that one before.
Stratascythe is a really, really good one. There's one, I can't think of the name of it. It's in my, I'll find it right now. I've got my list here. It's in my Multani deck, and it's really, really fun to just use. The other one, though, it's it maybe Armored Ascension. Is that the word?
Armored Ascension. 3 and a white for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each planes you control and has flying.
So another way to get one of our things through pretty easily.
Yeah.
But also we can just put it on Mavinda, like I said, and have our commander pretty easily at like a 13/13 kind of thing before our tokens.
Yeah, that's rough.
Mavinda being able to one-shot people into the late game would be good. There's not too much double strike available in white unless we go more into the equipment theme, and I don't think we should go too deep into it. I just think that when we're running a monocolor like this and we have a commander who can get through so easy, I think that it's worthwhile buffing them with something that cares about our lands. Blackblade Reforged, also another great one if you want to add that.
Okay.
And Gideon Blackblade, because I love that card.
Blackblade Reforged, 2 mana, 1/1 for each land you control. Equip to a legendary creature for 3, or just equip for anything else 7. And Gideon Blackblade, they would.
I'm definitely not making the cutting it down easy.
No. I can't read this one because I've got the alternate art Japanese one.
Let me pull up Gideon.
As long as it's your turn, Gideon Blackblade is a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible that's still a planeswalker. Prevent all damage that be dealt to Gideon Blackblade during your turn. +1 up to 1 to other target creature you control gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Indestructible to end a turn. -6 exile target non-land permanent.
Yeah. The one that I was thinking is Scythe of the Wretched. Wouldn't be good in this deck, but you should quickly read what it does because Scythe of the Wretched is great, and I haven't seen it in anyone's deck. The only one I've ever seen play it, and it's the most fun equipment.
Okay, Scythe of the Wretched.
People should go buy this card.
2 mana, equips of 4. A quick creature gets +2/+2 whenever a creature dealt damage by a quick creature this turn is put into a graveyard. Return that card to play under your control and attach the scythe to that creature. Huh.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It's really fun in Multani because Multani is usually like a 50-50, and you have to block him because he's trample. So I just get all your creatures. It's really fun.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, Bonk Tani is great.
Bonk Tani.
Yeah, okay, let's see where we're sitting with stuff like this.
Okay, so we have 113 cards.
It's not even that bad to cut.
It's not that bad, no.
It's not horrible. Let's cut the Tooth of Ramos. It's good ramp, but we're not. What's our average CMC first? I think it's going to be pretty low. I think it's like 3.
2.8.
So yeah, let's cut Tooth of Ramos. It's just too slow for what we're doing here.
Gone. Okay.
Okay.
As much as what do you feel about the Chronomatic Escape?
Yeah, we're not trying to group or pillow fort ourselves. We're trying to be aggro.
Okay. What was your reasoning about Gideon, by the way?
Which one? Blackblade?
Yeah.
Oh, to protect Mavinda, the indestructible.
Oh, right. Okay, that's fair.
But you know what? Let's also put him into the maybe. He just is not as good as Basri Cat.
Yeah, Basri is just solid.
Yeah, Basri Cat's amazing in a deck like this.
Okay, so we're down to 10 to go.
Let's get rid of Stratascythe.
Okay.
I
was looking at Myth Realized as well, to be honest.
Myth Realized actually gets enormous. It can't be understated how strong that card is late game, especially because we're looking at how many instants do we have for instance? So a lot of them we can double cast. We've got like potentially the ability to cast 40 instants in our game.
Okay.
So turning something into a 40/40 is pretty enormous.
I think Divine Visitation is
It's a heavy cost. I would take that one.
Yeah, it's not quite the right deck.
It's good though.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'd run it in every white deck. It's one of my pet decks, but
So what's in our enchantments? We've got Court of Grace. That's great. All of those are solid enchantments. I think our enchantments are pretty low cost. They all do a lot.
yep.
Let's look at our artifacts. What do we got in there? What's the map fetches us
2 lands
land
and
what?
puts lands into play when someone else puts a land into play.
So it burgeonings the land. What if we traded that out for a Keeper of the Accord?
Keeper of the Accord.
Thank you so much. By the way, I'm actually pretty excited to build something like this, and I don't think it's going to come out too expensive, especially if you cut something like a land tax, like some of our expensive ones. Probably build this on a pretty decent budget.
Keeper of the Cord, 3 and a white, 3/4 human soldier. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, make a 1/1. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if player controls more lands than you may search your library for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle your library. Yeah, I think the Archaeomancer's map comes out, that goes in.
Yeah, I just think it does more of what we want. It gives us creatures and it fetches us the lands. The map gets us 2 and lets us do some stuff, but I think that this is going to function a little better the kind of way we want. If someone does, for some reason, have more creatures than us, this is going to punish them for it.
Yeah.
The same with land. If you're playing against someone like me who likes to ramp a lot, you're going to be able to get a lot of free, and Keeper of the Accord is going to trigger on each end step, not just one.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you want the Walking Ballista Heliod combo in there, or is that just...
To be honest, yes. Because read me Heliod quickly.
Heliod is an indestructible 5/5. As long as your devotion is less than 5, it isn't a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. 1 and a white, another creature gains lifelink to end of turn.
Give our commander lifelink as well. I think it works good, and if we're going 1/1 theme, why wouldn't we Walking Ballista, right?
Yeah, okie dokie.
So yeah, like it's because you got to remember, Walking Ballista doesn't have to just be a degenerate infinite mana thing, right? It can also be I'm just going to put 12 counters on it and have it as a 12/12.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be infinite, but it's fun when it is.
It is, but it's still a nice deterrent against someone's creatures as well.
It's fun to have just a little bit of a thing. Also, the oath, pretty good.
Looks like you've gone all roboty. Have we lost Dan? The pure excitement of a 12/12 Walking Ballista has made Dan just break. He's trying. Come on, Dan, you can do it. Or is he gone? Does that mean I can start fiddling now that he's not here to interrupt what I want to do? 12/12 Ballista would break anyone, yeah. Nope, Dan has actually just disappeared from the face of the earth. I think that 12/12 Ballista... Are you alright there, Dan?
Yeah.
Your internet's dying. Technology, eh? Apart from the time I stopped the Ballista combo in my Kamigawa tribal deck. How did you stop the combo in your tribal deck? And all I wanted to know this too. Oh, you ethereal hazed. Prevent all damage from... Couldn't they have just taken off a counter and pinged you in response to you casting that? Or did they only have the 1 counter on it, Ashen? This was in response to activating Heliod. Right, okay. Do we have you back there? Yeah, I've started running Ethereal Haze over Holy Day as well. Mainly because of what you showing me this card. Because I completely forgot about it. One thing I know about you is you've taught me a lot from Kamigawa. It's a set that was undervalued, but has a lot of value in it. You're still roboty.
Yeah, I don't know why it's dropped me there.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, I just went over onto my phone now.
Wow. So, looks like we will just remove your cam for the time being then.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on there.
No. Okay. So, we're at 108 cards. I have, although the temptation was there, I didn't fiddle with anything while you were gone.
You should have just taken everything out while I was gone.
Just move everything out and just put in a brand new deck. So we're at 108. We got 8 to cut to try and fit everything in.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we're I want to keep all our instants and sorceries because I think we need a lot of them. Let's cut creatures. We got a lot.
Okay, so should we cut the higher costed ones more than anything?
Sure, let's see what we've got here.
So Student of Ujitai, 4 mana. When you cast a non-creature spell, gain 2 life.
Ashen makes a good point because I thought we were going to go a little more into things that we're going to cast that didn't have a target, but a lot of our things are towards ourselves. So maybe we can get rid of that Semblance Anvil Cloud Key.
Semblance Anvil and Cloud Key. Yep, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think they'd be better if we were trying to run more board wipes or more things that we wanted to cast from the grave ourselves.
Yeah, but I think everything's 1 or 2 CMC, really.
Yeah, and it's all things that generally target us, right? It's almost all towards our own thing.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we only need 6 more now.
Yeah, so let's see what else we have here.
Okay, I'm gonna go from the
let's lose Palace Jailer.
Okay, Palace Jailer, because we don't have our sack outlet anymore.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Becoming the Monarch is pretty good, but I think we are drawing a fair bit.
For which card?
For the Palace Jailer, it's pretty good, but I just think that we've got better creatures in it, and the one draw that we get from it.
I think the Triskelion can come out.
Yeah, one of the combos probably good.
That just leaves us with 4.
So what's our highest cost creatures?
God Eternal Oketra, Dawnbringer Charioteers, Hero,
which is a lifelinker.
That's a flying lifelinker. When you cast a spell, put a +1 counter on it. Hero of the Winds. When you cast a spell, it gets plus creatures you control get +1/+0 to end a turn.
That's pretty solid.
Keeper of the Accord.
Let's keep that one in. Keeper's pretty good.
Leonin Iconoclap. That one.
Is that the enchantment creature? Let's cut it.
Destroy target enchantment creature. Yep. Mangara. He's pretty good, to be fair.
Mangara's always pretty good, yeah. We've got 3 more.
Ojutai Exemplars.
It's got pretty good utility. Let's read that one again quickly here.
So, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose one. Tap target creature. It gains first strike and lifelink to end a turn, or exile it and then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control.
Yeah, exile what? One more time, read that to me again, sorry.
Exile it, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control tapped.
And what are the other options?
It gains first strike and lifelink to end a turn, or tap target creature.
Tap target creature's pretty solid for getting away from a Voltron thing.
Yeah.
Let's still wait on that one. What else do we got?
We have Oketra the True.
Oketra's a good mana. Let's do we want to keep Slash the Ranks or Tragic Arrogance? Which is the better? Both of them are going to let us keep our commander.
Yeah.
You know what? We're not very permanent heavy. If we need to pull the board wipe, we're not going to lose out as much in the Tragic Arrogance as like someone like a Brian.
Yeah, so Slash the Ranks to the maybe board, Tragic Arrogance to the main.
Okay.
Which leaves us with 2.
What's our top sorcery there? The 1-cost one?
Guiding Voice. Put a +1 counter on target creature and then learn.
Let's lose that one.
Okay. And then, do we need a Scout's Warning?
Yeah, Scout Warning's solid.
Okay.
Because we can get, we can get, like I said, we want to hold a bunch of mana up so we can flash one of our bigger creatures in and still have the draw card with it.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
Or like flash in Mavinda.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
What's the Geist Caller, Thalia's?
Thalia's Geist Caller is 2 and a white, lifelink 3/1. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, sacrifice a spirit, this gains indestructible.
That's definitely, let's keep that one. Ashen makes a good point with Armored Ascension. It's good, but it's not so much on our theme. It's going to make our things big, but we can't really do anything else with it unless we Savine's Reclamation it. It's going to be one big one, but we're not really enchantment themed, right?
Yeah, that makes a good point. That makes 100.
Yeah, I think we've got a pretty solid amount of creatures that we want to get going. I'd be excited to draw all of the things like Basriquette's going to really, really make a difference. Our current enchantments, like when you look Ascension versus something like a Felidar Retreat, it's no contest which is better, right?
Yeah. Felidar Retreat's just going to gain value the longer it stays on the board regardless.
Yeah, exactly. Giving us creatures or tokens, whichever we need.
Yeah. I think more people should play that.
It's a great card.
Yeah. We're at a mana curve of 2.69, so 2.7.
Yeah, we're pretty low in that CMC area. We're not gonna get flooded out with white. We should be able to have our commander out pretty nonstop. We don't really have anything to protect the commander, but I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, the commander is a 3 CMC.
Actually, we have all our instants and sorceries to protect it. I forgot about those.
Other than the whole, third of the deck, but we also have like Sun Titan. we have Sun Titan because it's a 3 CMC.
Yeah.
So we can.
I think we're pretty good there. I would maybe put in. Let's find one instant to cut and let's bring in Brought Back.
Oh, I like Brought Back. Double white, instant, choose up to two target permanence cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped. I quite like that. I've seen someone do that with fetch lands.
Yep. That would be a really good one to get under the Isochron Scepter for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So what about Gallantry? 1 and a white, target blocking creature gets +4/+4, draw a card.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Target creature, blocking creature?
Blocking creature.
It's still not horrible, but there is one I'd rather put in for it. There was I'm trying to think. It's in the Osgear deck list. It's a white card that lets you destroy stuff. I've got to find what it is.
Generous Gift?
No. It's a much better one.
It's much better than Generous Gift.
Significantly better, yeah. I think it was the Demonstrate mechanic. I'm just trying to think what it was.
What's better than blowing up and giving someone an elephant?
Oh, just wait till you see. What is the card that was on it? It was, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a Demonstrate card. There it is. Excavation Technique. Put that one in.
This one. 3 and a white, sorcery, Demonstrate. When you cast this spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Players may choose new targets for their copies. Destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. Oh, okay.
So we get a blow up 2, and we can politics our way into a 3rd blow up card.
That's fair. Okay, so we have to cut 2 now.
We have to cut 2?
Well, yeah, I didn't take out that one that does the +4/+4 to blockers.
Let's cut that one.
Okay.
It's a good cantrip, but it's so conditional on them actually swinging at us.
Yep, that's fair.
And let's cut eye for an eye. We'll leave in Harsh Justice because I think that's funny.
Eye for an eye. Yep, that's cut. There we go. Okay, Mavinda now looks like a card that I'd actually play.
What's the cost on this deck? It doesn't seem crazy high right now.
$378.
And I bet most of that is things like land tax and Ozolith.
Land tax is $80. Ozolith is $18. So there's $100 right there in just 2 cards.
Yeah. And we definitely have a big maybe board that you can replace those things with. Are we happy with all our lands here?
Yeah, 33 lands. We have Wall Room, Rogue's Passage, Mistveil Plains, Emeria the Sky Ruin, which...
Let's do Castle Ardenvale as one.
I mean, yeah. This makes more 1/1s.
Yeah, just something to dump our mana into when we need it.
Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah.
Let's throw in also a Throne of the High City. That'll be our last one.
Throne of the High City. Add a colorless 4 tap, sacrifice it, become the monarch. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I've not seen that one.
It's not horrible.
No, it's just 4 mana, become the monarch.
Yeah, and we're at a decent amount of lands here. Like I said, we're so low in mana cost that I think we're going to be pretty all right.
Yeah, I can see that working very nicely.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry my camera decided to go wonky. I don't know why it's different because this is just through my phone, which is the same internet.
I don't know. I've been having problems with Discord lately at all, where it's been eating all my CPU for some reason.
Yeah, I'm sure glad my gaming computer can't run Discord.
I mean, this is my gaming PC, and I think something's seriously wrong with Discord. I might have to uninstall and reinstall it, but I think it's...
Yeah. This deck, though, does look very fun, to be honest.
Yeah, it's. I was honestly wondering what the hell to do with this commander when you told me weeks ago, like, this is what you wanted to do, and I'm like, out of all the commanders you could have picked, why this one?
I like to brew weird things.
Yeah, there's
That's
weird, and
the
then there's
Quandrix
this.
student as well. I really want to brew that Quandrix student as well.
What,
I think that
Zimone?
it's got like a yeah, exactly. It's
See,
seems like a pretty straightforward but fun deck to build.
that one's great. I played it in my pre-release. It was amazing. She is awesome. I was drawing so many cards.
Instead of mono white combat tricks.
I mean, mono white I do love, but why 8 mana?
Eh.
Why 8 mana?
Yeah, I do wish, like we said in the episode when we talked about the spoilers, I wish that first off this wasn't a mythic and it was a little cheaper. Like this is Feather wasn't a mythic and Feather is stronger than this. But if it wasn't 8 mana, I guess you can recast anything, and you do have the ability to go like you. I think could make a really fun, very annoying deck where you ran just like tons of artifact ramp, like Felwar stones, all that stuff, and then just went really, really hard into land destruction, like a bad person.
Ew.
And kept casting from Mavinda, casting from the grave with Mavinda. I think that could be fun too. But I think that this is like a pretty fun way to play. I don't think it's going to be too broken. Do you mind doing a few test hands quickly, and then I guess we'll wrap it up?
Yeah. Play test hand. Let's come. So we have 1 land in our opening hand. Let's go for a new one. Okay, there we go. 3 lands. So we have War Room, 2 plains, Maridon.
Martyrdom, yeah.
Yeah, Mangara, Machaeus, Thalia. And then if we draw 5 cards, the 5 cards are Brought Back, Keeper of the Accord, Vanguard of Brimaz, 2 more planes.
Very solid. I'd be very happy with that. Especially getting that Machaeus out on like a turn 2 would be really, really fun to just get those tokens up and going.
Yeah, that's a turn 1 Soul Ring.
Yes. Oh, go back to that? Oh, I guess you can't go back.
No.
The turn 1 Soul Ring into Oketra's Monument into turn 2 Machaeus would have been crazy. Looking at these test hands, it looks fun.
I mean, it doesn't look terrible, except that one. And that one. There we go. Defiant Strike, Refractive Golem, Student of Urgetai, and then draw 5 cards. Savine's Reclamation, Castle Ardenvale. This is going pretty well. There you go. Straight into a Heliod there.
We have a fun deck to play.
Yeah.
I like hitting people with flying commanders as well. It's fun.
Especially when they can't block it.
Yeah, Rogue's Passage definitely does work.
Yep. Are you happy to call it there?
I'm happy to call it for sure.
Okay. Well, I think Ashen says looks like a good deck. Reminds me a little bit of Teshar deck, but with instant and sorceries instead of historics.
Teshar was a blast to play as well.
Yeah. I've never actually built a Teshar deck. I might have to actually do that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to
disappear again by the sounds of it.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I would definitely put this deck together. The last time I was on, I also brewed that Omnath deck, and I had a blast.
Okay, well, I'll look forward to facing this one then.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think that's all for now, though. But if you want to see more, visit our hub into the99.com for more articles, videos, podcasts, plus the link to our Discord community. Finally, if you wish to support us in a more financial way, please see our merch store for great t-shirts and more. Remember, don't just get into the 99, wear it.